What's your favorite thing about mommy?
I really like about Mama. She always gives me hugs and I always sleep with her.
Uh-huh. Yes. She's a good snuggler, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Progressive Overload podcast. Have you ever thought about strengthening multiple areas of your life at the same time? Then you've come to the right place. Our goal is to help you identify ways that you might need a progressive overload to break through those plateaus and keep you growing. What's up, Progressive Overload podcast? Welcome to episode number 69, I believe. We're so excited to talk about motherhood and celebrate our moms today because as this episode drops, we are just now finishing up celebrating mothers, and so excited to talk about you and just talk about some things of how moms can approach fitness, especially after having kids and other things like that. And anyways, so excited to talk about that. Today I do have the most wonderful Walker Prothro back. What's up, Walker? How are you today?
I'm good, Joe. How are you?
Doing good. You having a good week?
Dude, I am. I've got Mother's Day plans and lots of food in the process.
Of course.
So, boom, it's going to be fun.
What are y'all doing?
We, after church, going to pick up my grandmother, and she is a diehard Dairy Queener.
Oh, really?
She's like 89, and she just wants some Dairy Queen.
She wants Dairy Queen.
We're going to go get Dairy Queen and go out to, I think, Hamilton Park.
Okay,
just have like a picnic and eat some fried chicken.
Wait. Dairy Queen is for the burgers, not chicken.
They have terrible burgers.
No, they do not.
Dude, they're awful.
Dude, they are second to Whataburger.
Really?
Yes, in my book.
Okay, I do appreciate that Whataburger is first.
We gotta put Whataburger first.
Yeah, but
yeah,
like their fried chicken's good. I like their blizzards. They're known for that.
Of course.
But their burger. I mean, I'd go anywhere for a burger, but that place.
Wow. I don't know if we can be friends. Birthday twin.
Mm-hmm.
So did you see that fun statistic about Mother's Day?
Dude, yeah. Which one are you talking about? I
talking
saw
about Dairy
ones.
Queen made me remember the one that you brought up about the restaurants. What was it?
It was on Mother's Day. I lost it.
Basically, you said something along the lines of Mother's Day is one of the busiest days of restaurants.
That's what it is. And you had a great line that made so much sense before my brain. And you said...
Because the moms aren't cooking.
That's what it is.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, of course Mother's Day is the biggest day of the year for restaurants.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Because the moms aren't cooking.
They're not cooking. My mom's not the biggest fan of cooking. She would rather buy food or anything.
Right.
Before making it. It's just another cup of dish.
Right. So I grew up on a big ranch where there was like a compound of ranchers. Okay, I didn't grow up there.
Dude,
I was born there, but I wasn't there for very
cool.
long. But my mom was in charge of feeding all our family, all the ranch hands, their family, and everything for a couple years. And I think ever since then, she kind of lost her passion for cooking. So after that, my dad did most of it. But my mom's a really good cook whenever she does. Anyways. No, so excited to. We're going to Great Wolf Lodge this weekend with my mom. Have you ever been to Great Wolf Lodge?
No, but I know of it.
Right.
It's
basically
me
just
what
like
it
an
is.
indoor water park, kind of, in a hotel and all sorts of fun stuff.
I have heard of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're going tomorrow and going to be there with my sister and her family and my mom. And so we'll get to celebrate all of the moms in my family except for my brother's wife.
Wow.
But anyways, yeah, we're excited to do that. And man, I'm just so thankful for my mom. And man, she is if you look up unconditional love in the Bible, you'll see Jesus and then my mom.
Yeah.
For sure. It's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's I couldn't be more blessed by my mom and my dad. And so Mom, I love you. And Lorna, gosh, I couldn't have asked for a better woman to raise my kids. It's amazing. I'm going to try not to cry. But yeah, just could not be more blessed to watch Presley just turn out so much like you in every good way possible. And so super excited that you're going to get to be another mommy for little birdie Ann. So anyways.
Dude, you're such a father.
I am.
That's great.
I am. I'm
That's
cheesy.
so precious.
Trying to get as many brownie points as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
fun.
I know you probably wanted to say.
I do. I have something for me mama. But her name is Cher. So
her name is Cher?
Her name is Cheryl, but I call her Cher.
Okay.
So it's like an abbreviated,
Right.
like that. To me, it's more intimate versus saying mom.
Right.
But that's me.
Yeah.
So hey, Cher, thank you so much for giving me life. For I'm just doing the motherly things, but really,
Right.
For being an ear in my life, so we can geek out about tennis and pickleball and fitness and all the joys of life. And for always being there for me, and for always reminding me of God's deeper plan, even when things are rocky and chaotic.
Sure.
She's a big woman of faith, and she is awesome.
Cool.
She has lots of toys when it comes to skills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like she. I guess her love language is dude, this is awful. Her love language are gifts.
Yeah, gift giving.
Yeah, but for hers, it's like I see that you have clubs over here.
Mm-hmm.
She has all these gadgets to help her with her skills.
She's the accessory queen.
That's exactly what she is. So
Yes.
like in her stockings for Christmas, it's like, oh, you can get, or like here's something for your phone, or here's something for your racket.
Right.
And it's like, this will make my game so much better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, here's what I want to talk about today, and it's probably just because it's so fresh on my mind. I want to talk a lot about fitness, postpartum, and other things that moms can take hold of in their fitness journey. And I also do realize our following is mostly male. I don't know if I've ever told you that. We have like 75% of our listeners are men.
Wow.
So men, if you're listening to
Cool.
this, you need to know this information too, so that you can guide your wife and help give her tips. Of course, in a loving and productive way. You never want to give unsolicited fitness tips to your wife. That's usually not a great idea.
Oh my,
you know what I'm
that's
saying there?
disastrous.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Anyways, do it with grace and love, and not out of, hey, I want you to go look better or anything like that. I just want you. Yeah.
I do say there's some people at my gym, or heck, there's some clients that I don't know if they mean it, but they sound like it, and it's like, you need to back off, or you need to rethink what you just said.
Exactly right.
Ooh.
I've heard some very cringy things from couples in the gym, or men talking about their wife, or vice versa. Yeah. Anyways, so postpartum fitness. Number one thing I want to talk about is how moms should approach fitness after kids. And the first thing is redefine fitness. So prepartum, if it's even a word, you don't hear that as much. But before having kids, fitness is usually, for the most part, for most women, just aesthetic related. Getting skinnier, getting stronger sometimes, or in better shape, whatever that looks for you. And it's all a lot of times intensity driven. It's all about how hard can I hit the gym a lot of times. And so reshaping in our brain what fitness means to us after having a baby is going to make it your fitness journey so much easier to stick to.
Yeah.
So what do you think, how would you tell one of your clients, or a woman or a mom, how to change their mindset from before having kids to after having kids?
From before having to after having, changing their mindset. It's hard because, as I was telling you before, I don't have any clients that are that way. I don't have any experience in anything of that manner. I don't know. I would imagine it'd be really difficult.
Yeah.
And I guess in the sense of just like physiologically what's going on in your body from before having your kid to post having your kid.
Right.
What do you think, Joe?
Well, there's a lot of different things going on. So you have to look at before having kids, a hormone profile is usually
that's a good idea.
A lot more balanced for the most part.
Okay.
I mean, of course, everybody has their own different things, own health issues, but I mean, regardless of being a mom or not. But what I'm trying to say is motherhood and birthing a baby, growing a baby, can definitely affect your hormones and make losing fat harder when it comes to having to produce milk for a child, things like that.
Yeah.
Your hormone profile is going to be different, which actually breastfeeding moms lose fat like freaking crazy for the most part. Yeah, they just melt the fat for the most part. Some people do. I've noticed that, and I really honestly don't know the scientific reason behind that.
Didn't you say that their metabolism just
seems like
skyrockets?
Yeah, that would make the most sense to me because they're having to use so much of their nutrition and calories to produce all this milk and stuff like that. So that would make sense.
That's incredible.
I know, isn't it amazing?
I mean, like they get to create a child. I mean, I know you, like males play a part of that, but they get to like breathe it in, and then they get to produce a liquid to give it food, and you're just like,
wild.
What?
Yeah. And
pretty remarkable.
And all of that just came from a primordial slime, you know.
Oh, gross.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
No, it was sarcastic because
okay.
there's these evolutionists talk about where it was like you're going to tell me how amazing birthing a child is, and you're telling me there's not a creator that made this and gave all of this as such a specific purpose. Here's a cool thing you may not know. When moms pump breast milk, they need to label the time in which they pump, because depending on the time that they pump that breast milk out, is going to have different makeup in that breast milk.
No way.
For instance, yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. For instance, like if they pump first thing in the morning, that sample or whatever is going to have things in it, and I'm not going to get too super scientific because I don't understand it that much. But it's going to have things in it that's going to make the baby more alert, more awake. Because it's first thing in the morning, the day's starting, versus if you pump it at night, that's going to have chemicals in the breast milk that's going to make the baby more tired, help the baby sleep better, things like that. So if you give nighttime breast milk to a morning baby, you might put them to sleep, or vice versa. If you put daytime breast milk to a baby right before nighttime, they're going to be not sleeping too hot.
Dude, I mean, to what you were saying earlier, how can there not be a creator?
I know.
Who comes up with that?
Exactly.
We're not just like molecules just crammed together like moist robots just going about life. It's like, who came up with that?
Exactly. It blows my mind, man.
Wow.
It blows my mind. It's so cool. Yeah.
Dude.
Pretty freaking wild. So back to topic. Kind of lost my train of thought there, but I want to talk about how a parent or how a mom can reshape their expectations of fitness after having a baby.
Can reshape
their expectations of fitness.
Do you think that's more of a mind, a emotional, or spiritual, or heck, even all three?
I'm sure you could have a case for all three.
Yeah.
Basically, what I want to talk about is, before having a kid, first off, most people are going to have 10x the more availability to hit the gym. 10
times.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just so much more time to hit the gym, so much more time and effort and energy to put into meal prepping and blah, blah, blah. And it's just a part of life where after you have a kid, you're going to lose so much of that time that you had previously. So I guess I want to encourage moms to have grace on themselves and not to expect for your fitness journey to look like that after having kids. So a lot of moms will feel like failures if they're not in the gym 6 days a week like they used to be.
Yeah.
Or if they're not meal prepping every single meal, if they're, grabbing a Happy Meal every once in a while or something like that.
Yeah.
things like that are part of your survival, and they're not going to prohibit you from keep hitting your goals. Whenever a mom approaches fitness after having a kid, it's really important to believe that taking care of yourself is okay.
Yeah.
You can't feel guilty for recharging your battery. And so find out what that means to you, what recharging your battery means to you. You hear the phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you laughing about?
You finish your thought, then I'll share.
Okay. Yeah. So, and moms have to pour from an empty cup all the time. And, but that doesn't mean you should. That doesn't mean you have to. So find men out there, learn what recharges your wife's battery, learn what fills her cup, and pour into her and give her the life that she needs, the energy that she needs, the battery charge that she needs. Take an active part in that for your wife. A lot of times men just expect so much out of their wife, and I'm guilty of it for sure. Man, just thinking about now, like Presley's about to start kindergarten, and just all of the different things that my wife had to do that I don't even know about, that I didn't even have to think about registration and shot records and all these things that she had to do. I'm like, wait, when did you do all that? She's like, I made time to do it. I was like, and there's so many things that moms do that go unnoticed. And it's awesome. And I really think men need to do a better job at taking active roles in that. I think for the longest time, probably the generation before us, maybe even 2 generations, it was kind of that thing where men went to work, came home, dinner was ready on the table, kids were bathed in their pajamas, and they went to bed. And men were so inactive in their roles in their household. And I think there's no wonder why women had such a hard time back then. And there was, I don't know.
It's like baby boomer era, or like during the Vietnam,
right,
the war-ish. Yeah.
So you had a thought a while ago. What were you trying to say?
I did. Well, this one was, you were talking about recharging your batteries. So I'll say what I was thinking in my head. Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed, a.k.a. VeggieTales. Alfred, a.k.a. it's the Batman version, or it's the VeggieTales version of Alfred. He's going around saying, I just need to go recharge my batteries. And there's like kids in that show, they're just like, he's got to be a robot. But he's like, no, I just need to go recharge my soul or recharge my energy.
Right.
And they just take it as, he's a robot, he's an alien. So that's what I was laughing at.
I thought I've seen every single VeggieTales movie out there. I guess I haven't seen that one. Huh?
Bro, Peter Lovelace and I can rock your world.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But that's what I was laughing about.
Nerds.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's good. I also like to talk about mom guilt. I've brought that up a little bit.
Yeah, do explain.
Yeah, and I think I probably already talked about it today. But for the longest time, we go to the Y, and the Y has childcare in there.
That they do. They got a lot of fun
that's awesome
obstacles in there.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But a lot of times my wife would want to go work out but choose not to because she was feeling guilty about having to just go drop Presley off.
Yeah.
And lose that time with Presley.
Yeah.
And I told her every single time, like, that is the devil trying to guilt you into that. There is no reason you should feel guilty about taking an hour of your day to put towards yourself, to put towards your own health, to put towards recharging that battery. And because exercise is absolutely that. And anyways, so
I can't imagine what that's like. From a singles perspective, well, I don't have that responsibility, so it's just like I don't have a kid.
Right.
But I would imagine it'd be hard because you birthed that kid, so you're connected to that kid on a physical, emotional, spiritual
100%,
level.
100%.
So to even just leave your kid even in a safe place, it's like, are they okay? Or it's just kind of like, I want to spend time with them because they, you only have so much time. And then it's like, well, like you said, I need to recharge my batteries or, treat yourself. So it's like, I don't know. I'd imagine that's a hard emotional
for sure.
teeter-totter.
Absolutely. Constantly.
Yeah.
Even for me,
Do tell, Jim.
But I mean, same thing. Every Saturday we have a kind of a routine where my wife is usually sleeping off a night shift, and so me and Presley will go to the Y.
Oh,
and
cute.
Saturdays are one of my only 2 days off a week. I work 5 days a week. And so I used to feel guilty about taking her to the Y and missing out on that hour with her. But I realized when I wake up and get my workout in on a Saturday, the rest of my day, I am way more energized. I'm in a better mood. I'm happier, or, I wouldn't say happier, but I'm just in better spirits because I got to work on myself, all the physical benefits and mental benefits of exercise. I got to fill that up, and then that makes the other 23 hours of the day so much more valuable with Presley that I get to spend with her. I'm more energized to go run around the park with her or jump on the trampoline with her or whatever, and it's better quality time, even though I lost an hour there or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think I just had an apostrophe.
Apostrophe?
Tell me you've seen Hook with Robin Williams. Please.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Hook goes, I think I had an Smee goes, I think I had an apostrophe, and Hook goes, I think you mean an epiphany. So anywho, do you think that when mothers or heck even fathers need to go, or like when they go and get a workout in or whatnot for the sake of them to recharge,
right?
Do you think that's almost like an element of a Sabbath?
Oh yeah, it definitely can be.
Yeah.
It's just because God told us to have a day of rest doesn't mean that rest has to be spent in bed. You know, it's not sleeping. It's
like that's mental rest.
Yeah, it's mental rest. It's that
where
recharge.
It provides that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that there's a specific day that you have to set aside for it. Like
I agree.
Yeah. Pastors, if Sunday's a rest, how are they going to have a Sabbath?
Right.
So and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't even have to be all in one day. Like. So, anyways, that's good stuff. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Some practical ways that moms should exercise. I want to get into there because typically, and I hope this isn't an overgeneralization, but women are always gravitated towards high intensity or long bouts of cardio.
I so agree with you on the latter. I have no idea about the first.
So basically just high intensity as in like boot camp, spin class, Zumba classes.
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. And I think the fitness industry is shifting, which is awesome. Great. And I think it's becoming more and more normal and more popular for women to be strength training, building muscle. They're seeing the amazing benefits that women are getting out of that.
Yeah.
So much more than just building the glutes or whatever like that, because that's the thing these days. But women for so long were so terrified to get into the weight room or get into the weight area of the gym, and I think the fitness industry has finally done a good job on teaching women it's okay to lift weights. You're not going to get bulky. You're not going to look manly.
Yep.
If you do, it's because you're on some sort of synthetic testosterone or something like that.
Or just one of those rare few, like Serena Williams or
right.
Something like that.
You got to have crazy genetics.
Yeah.
Anyways, and that's exactly what you need to do postpartum. Whenever you are postpartum, you're going to be high stressed, low sleep for a long time. Your cortisol levels are going to be spiked. Your stress hormone is going to be spiked all the time. And the last thing you need to go do when your cortisol levels are spiked are some sort of high intensity or long bouts of cardio.
Because doesn't that just increase your cortisol levels?
Yeah. And cortisol, constantly high cortisol levels are not conducive to fat loss. They're not. They cause weight gain, specifically in the abdominal area. So anytime you see like, have you ever seen like somebody who's just a really high stress, like CEO, or just somebody who's in like a really type A, going, high stress, very, very busy type person? A lot of times they might be smaller people, but they're going to kind of have that extended gut a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of movies come to mind. But yeah.
Lots of movies. Huh?
I'm sure reality hits the same.
Right, for sure. And so get into the gym, get into the weight area. That's going to be so beneficial to rebuilding the strength that you may have lost during pregnancy, especially in the pelvic floor and in the core area, because I was explaining to you earlier kind of what happens when a woman gets pregnant share. In order to make room for the baby, parts of their abdominal has to separate a little bit, and the transverse abdominis, the TVA, have to split a little bit. Sometimes it splits completely, and it's kind of different case by case. But if you're not actively trying to keep that connection, to even rebuild that connection, you're gonna have a really hard time rebuilding that connection. So a lot of times, even if you're postpartum and you get back in really, really good shape, or lose all of the weight, a lot of times you're still going to kind of have this rounded gut area because of that. I think they call it diastasis recti.
You're close.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'd roll with it.
Yeah, I think that sounded good.
Do not quote him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, so focus on stomach vacuums. It's a really, really good exercise. I think everybody should be doing. Something I should be doing because I'm out of breath right now.
Yes, I'm like slightly worried, but this is you, so.
Oh no,
you're
I'm
in
fine.
Your home, so.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I get out of breath when I talk because I forget to breathe. Happens anytime I like give a speech. And,
that's great.
And you think and like, oh, you have a hard time breathing when you talk? Let's start a podcast. No. Anyways, do stomach vacuums. So if you ever seen a bodybuilder on stage where they really suck their gut in, and you can like see their ribs and their guts just go inwards, that's a stomach vacuum, and that's going to help reconnect the transverse abdominis. And so do those while you're pregnant, do those after you're pregnant.
That's a good idea.
And that's going to help with that a lot.
What do you think are some other good pelvic exercises?
Yeah. I'm not super well versed on pelvic floor exercises, but I know just anything that you can do to stay connected to the muscles in that area. So like glute bridges.
Yeah.
Like pelvic tilts. Like if you're laying on the ground, push your small of your back down to the ground, squeeze, and then relax. So really connecting to the muscles that control the pelvis are very, very important. So practice the posterior tilt, practice the anterior tilt. Stay well connected with that. Stay connected with your glutes by doing deep squats. Yeah. There's a yoga pose. I'm trying to remember. I think it's like Happy Baby or something. It's basically the one where you just.
Where does
it's
that
like
come
this.
from?
You split open your hips on your knees really, really, really wide. And you just kind of push your hips down into it.
Oh,
it feels really, really good.
That would
and
make
I should
you
be
happy.
doing more of it. It might. Yeah. Anyways, so that's a really good one. There's so many. Just Google some or YouTube some really good. What did I call it? Pelvic floor exercises.
Yeah.
And there are therapists and trainers that specialize in that. It's definitely not my specialty, but it's important that you stay connected to the muscles of the pelvis and hips and core. Another thing you want to make sure that you're paying attention to whenever you're approaching the gym and the exercises that you do, you're going to automatically want to try to rebuild the core. Like I've talked about, stomach vacuums are awesome for that. What is not great for that is tons and tons of sit-ups and crunches.
Do explain.
Yeah, because if you look at the anatomy of the core, the transverse abdominis is layered underneath the rectus abdominis, so the six-pack abs that you see.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and so whenever you're doing sit-ups, most of the time, people end up doing sit-ups with their hip flexors because they anchor their feet and they're pulling themselves up with their hip flexors.
Very true.
So that's wrong right there. Number 2, you're going to use your rectus abdominis. You're not using your TVAs there. While sit-ups have value in some places, overdoing them is not going to help anything. So practice the stomach vacuums. Practice. You want to train your obliques also. So do your wood chops, your diagonal stuff that we've talked about. That's going to help you build that core back up too. Do what?
With lane mines?
Yeah, lane mine's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Just make sure you're well educated on how to use it, and
correct. Yeah.
And maybe seek out some instruction if you need it. Yeah,
for sure.
So I think that was a couple of good pieces of advice that moms should use as they approach fitness after having a baby. It's all about just changing your mindset. It's not going to look the same that it did whenever you were back running 5Ks every single weekend and in the gym 6 days a week before your kid. Don't expect the same things. If you want to go after that, do it. But don't put that pressure on yourself because you are already having so much pressure on yourself to keep a baby alive. Just have grace on yourself and take it one day at a time. It's not, you're not going to be able to get right into a routine right away. It's part of it. That's one of the reasons I built a home gym here is so that when we have our baby, I'll still be able to get a workout in a couple times a week for the first, month or two while the baby's still just all up and, all over the place.
Yeah.
And so, do what you can. But really don't let your fear of being out of shape or your fear, or false expectations of looking a certain way, get the idea of going back to pre-baby weight out of your head. I hate when I hear moms say they have the baby and they're like, all right, got to get this baby weight off, go back to my pre-baby weight. There's nothing in the world that says you have to go back to this weight right here. You're a completely different body, and accept that and love it.
True.
Love your body, appreciate your body for what it just went through and what it just did and the life that it gave. Don't put pressure on it to be a certain weight just because the world or somebody or just something in your head tells you that you have to go back to this weight pre-baby.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well said, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks for the edification.
Yeah, I like that word.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
It's from something. Yeah.
It's a Jesus word.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Yeah. No, it's from Harry Potter. Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So close.
I think it's the Sorcerer's Stone. It's somewhere in that movie. They're in class. Pretty sure it's from that movie. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anywho, that's where my mind goes. It's movie quotes.
So, you're a movie person, aren't you?
I am. The Prothros. Okay, how about this? Not the Prothros. My Prothros are known for quoting movies. That is our love language.
Yes.
That is our. If you were to say what's so special about the Prothro family, and not all the Prothros in Wichita Falls, but this is just my immediate Prothro family. Right. My family is that we all love to watch movies.
Yeah.
We will watch while we eat. We'll have it on in the background, and then it becomes our second language. It's our inner dialogue, to where you will say something, Joe. And right off the bat, a movie quote comes to my mind. Heck, there was a Harry Potter quote, I'm pretty sure. And then my siblings and I and parents, we will try to stump each other of what's the quote, what's the scene, and who says it. And it's really, really fun to where we're all talking in movie language. Yeah. Just different movies making a sentence.
That's so funny.
It's really cool. It's annoyed a lot of our friends until they start watching movies, and then they're like, we can speak the language.
Right.
So
I'm the same way. Like,
really?
People, I've kind of gotten, people think I'm funny sometimes, or I guess my parents' family, people, but what they don't realize is 98% of my humor is quoting funny movies.
Boom.
Or quoting The Office or Parks and Rec or something like that. I heard you like
The Office.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Dude, cool.
Are you an Office fan?
So I have a like-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to explain it or?
We'll do that off air.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I support
like it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because I don't I don't want to get in an argument and fight with you.
I was
on air.
Yeah, I respect that, and I think the audience respects that too.
So, you talking about movie? You said you've been watching The Chosen a lot lately.
I have, and it actually haven't finished season 3. I'm so bad.
Well, I haven't started season 1. So.
Okay, so we're on the same time. So, like, in keeping us on theme with mothers,
Right.
there's, a really powerful... Oh, maybe I don't know. That sounds like Sorcerer Supreme. Sorry, that's something else.
Mothers are powerful.
Yes, they are true. They are Mama Bear. Boom.
Yes.
But a really powerful mother, so to speak, is Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does
I'd say
Mary
so.
have a last name? What's your
Mary, Mother of God.
That's yeah. Anywho,
Mary Christ.
Mary
No.
Christ.
Gosh.
I don't know. Like thinking of Mary, I don't know what you think about her, but as far as like this aspect of motherhood, well, first I can't imagine what it'd be like to give birth. I'd say props for women that guys don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
But it'd be like, what would it be like giving birth to something or someone that that you'll never fully understand.
Yeah.
So, like we have our finite minds and God's infinite, and we try to grasp Him. We have evidence. We have nature. Right. We have our bodies. Right. We have a child that was just grown out of us, or out of the women.
And breast milk.
Yeah, and the power of that. But it's just like, what would it be like to give birth to? Oh my gosh, really like a deity. But a deity that's in physical form, right. But then you can't fully comprehend at the same time.
Yeah.
And then He is your son, but He is also your father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's just like
wild.
Yeah, it's wild. So there's that element, and then it'd just be like to see Jesus grow up, and just the nature of being a mother, and then witnessing. I don't know, but I'm sure with you, Joe, you see Presley do something, you're like, oh my gosh, she just wrote her name, or I don't know what 5-year-olds do.
Right.
But,
she can write like half of her name.
Cute.
Really great.
Yeah. So like a joyful moment like that, or a proud moment of just like of what you created as a father, and Lorna as a mother, and just seeing your creation do something like God looks at you and you look at her.
Right.
So it'd be like, what would Mary look at Jesus as like her own son, and the joy of that? But then it's like, wait, He's not just any kid.
Right.
I mean, He's the one who will redeem life.
That's crazy.
And then just going throughout, watching Him grow up, and then I don't know. I would think with mothers, or just with parents, it's like, you want to teach your kids, but all of a sudden it's like your kids mostly teaching you.
Right. Oh, so much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Or like, this is great and humbling, or, I've got a pride issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then later seeing your son not just die, but die in the most brutal way at that time.
Right.
And then know the weight of his death, and then just get surprised with breaking the laws of nature.
Right.
And rising from the dead. And then it's just, what would that be like for a mother to witness all that?
Right.
Or to emotionally go through that, and then for him to be gone, and then for you to still be alive, and to have your son's friends around, like AKA the disciples and whoever else knew God or knew Jesus, and still have faith in who He says He is.
Right.
I don't know. It's baffling.
Yeah.
And beautiful and speechless.
Yeah. I just can't imagine.
Yeah. Or or what were we going to say?
Well, nothing. Just have the amount of faith that she had to have.
Yeah.
And confidence. Do you think how much confidence she had that I know for a fact that this is the Son of God?
Yeah.
And obviously she was just mortified watching Jesus being tortured on the cross. And I'm sure that was awful, awful, awful. But even then, I bet she knew in her head that everything's okay.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, no, I think it's like I have to believe that.
Right.
I was trying to think of, I don't know, like I'm single, I don't have a wife or kids, so I can't comprehend what it'd be like to have someone that close, you know, being persecuted or tortured and then,
Right.
you know, killed. But I know I asked you earlier, Joe, of like when Lorna, before you had Presley, to, you know, now to having Presley, does she have that like mama bear?
Yes.
That mama bear personality of just like, I will defend my kid. You can't touch me.
Absolutely.
So like with that personality, it's like, did Mary have the same?
Yeah.
Or like, and even if she did, I mean, Jesus was repeatedly, and it just kept increasing the persecution.
Mhm.
So it's like, did her mama bear come out, or did
Yeah.
she just have to sit back and trust God that
Right.
Jesus?
Right.
I don't know. It's a whole Trinity thing. You're like, wait, what? But anywho, just that she would have to like sit back with the mama bear protection and realize the creator of life is right in front of me in son-like form, and I can't do anything because he has it already.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
he can, I don't know, he can protect himself, or he can,
Right.
he doesn't fear death.
Yeah.
Where you and I and her fears death,
Right.
because that's a reality.
Yeah. It's so cool to think about that from her
Yeah.
point of view. And
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that enough.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I will say the show The Chosen has, and yes, it is a TV show. It's not 100%
Of course.
factual.
But it makes you think about those types of angles.
It does. They show the angles of Mary. They show the angles of the disciples story. It's very relatable. But it's, when really, besides just seeing a name on a page, it's something about, personally, something about cinema and the nature of that art
Right.
that I believe does a good job paralleling with either the parables of the gospel or
Right.
just stories in the Bible.
I really, really hope that, and when we get to heaven,
Yeah.
there's gonna be like a newcomer orientation, and we get to sit down and just like the coolest movie theater in the world,
Oh yeah.
and we just get to watch a movie of creation and everything through the Bible, like
Dude.
as it happened,
Yeah.
and just get to watch it and like just see all the different stories that we've read about our whole entire lives and just watch them happen.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
Dude,
So,
I'd buy that ticket.
I know. It's free. Jesus bought it
It
for
is.
us.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yep. I'd leave my money.
Yeah, bring in the gospel in here.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for bringing that up. That was good.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Moms, I hope you guys have enjoyed your Mother's Day, and I hope that men, I hope that you honored your wife, not just on Father's Day. Nope, not just on Mother's Day,
True.
but every single day. If Sunday was the first time that you made your wife dinner in 2 months, if Sunday was the first time that you said, honey, I got the kids, why don't you sleep in? If that was the first time you've done that in a long time, if it was the first time you said, honey, I'm taking the kids, go get your pedicures, or if that was the first time you've done something like that in a really long time, be better. Work on doing that more. Help your wife recharge her battery, because I know they are working so freaking hard, and do not let it go unthanked. So,
Dude, for sure. Can I
Yeah.
say one other thing?
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
okay, what was that from?
Oh, okay, never mind. We'll just.
No, I got it
That's
here
fine.
now.
It's a 90s.
No, I've seen it, but I
Okay.
can't quote it.
Well, that's the movie. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Right.
It's not a quote. It's just the title of the movie.
So did I say something that reminded you of that?
Yeah, you were saying, honey, I made dinner. Honey, I something. And the first thing was like, honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
You were right, man. You just
It
think.
just spurs out.
You don't think in English. You think in
Mhm.
movies.
That's exactly it.
Man.
And God speaks, or God can speak to us through movies.
It's true.
Lord
absolutely.
of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or podcasts.
Or that too. Yeah, like the Progressive Overload podcast.
Did you have to look up the name?
No, but I forgot about it in my head, and it was just like, it's not overload, it's P overload.
P-
It's Progressive Overload.
It's not P overload. Oh man, this ending has gotten away from us. All right. Goodbye, everybody. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to hear or speak some life into you next week. Stop in every Tuesday. Hey, go check out our website at progressiveoverloadpod.com and see all the different programs we offer for fitness coaching. I offer one-on-one training, pre-built programs. Moms, if you are looking to get started with an exercise program, go to our website and you'll click on some of the programs you have there, and I will meet with you and train you and build your programs for you and just work with you one-on-one and get you all fixed up. Walker, you have anything else?
No, dude, this was so much fun. Thank you, mothers of all the world. There was someone who quoted something a while back of just like, if mothers got paid for what they do, I mean, they'd be like billionaires. If that, or you couldn't even put a price on the check.
No, not at all.
You know?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So thank you, Cher. Thank you, Joe's mom.
Thank you, Debbie.
Yep.
And Lorna. All right. Love you all. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Progressive Overload podcast. We're honored to be a small part of your day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or are interested in sponsoring our efforts, please feel free to reach out via email. Find us at progressiveoverloadpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.
And as always, you can help us reach the masses by sharing our podcast with your friends and family. And then check us out on Facebook and Instagram to follow our own personal journeys and get an inside look on our day-to-day lives. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.